Shannon Sharpe, gone from ESPN? At first glance, it might seem like just another sports headline, but there's a deeper story playing out behind the scenes. It's not just about contracts or creative differences. It's about power, influence, money, silence, and the unseen battles that are shaping culture today. What does it cost to speak out or to stay silent? Why would a billion-dollar network let go of one of the most recognizable, marketable voices in sports media? And maybe the better question is this: what happens when the world chooses entertainment over truth, no matter the cost? Sharpe is now tied up in a $50 million civil suit, surrounded by scandalous claims that could shift public trust and shatter reputations. Reports even suggest he tried to settle privately for $10 million, a move that raises eyebrows. After all, you don't offer that kind of money unless what's on the other side could cost you even more. And you have to ask, if Sharpe was so valuable, why would ESPN, a company laser-focused on brand and audience, let him walk so quietly? The truth is, ESPN's decision wasn't just about a lawsuit. It was about protection. Big brands don't gamble when there's a whiff of controversy. Disney, ESPN's parent company, prioritizes its family-friendly image above all else. In today's cancel culture climate, even an unproven accusation can make an executive board nervous enough to cut ties quickly, even if it means losing millions in the short term. When the stakes are this high, image becomes policy. And when someone's personal life threatens a perception of brand, no amount of past success can buy loyalty. Looking deeper, Sharpe's alleged offer to settle reveals something bigger. Settlements aren't about guilt or innocence, they're about control. When influence, generational wealth, and an entire public persona are at risk, people will pay almost anything to keep the damage contained. It's not just a legal move, it's a survival tactic. But this isn't a new story. Talented men at the height of their careers, brilliant, charismatic, and powerful, fall not because they weren't skilled enough, but because their character couldn't carry the weight of their success. Tiger Woods, once the most dominant figure in golf, had his empire rocked in 2009 when a series of infidelities surfaced, fracturing his marriage, endorsements, and pristine image. Deshaun Watson, hailed as an elite NFL quarterback, now faces over 20 allegations of misconduct that shattered public trust despite his talent. Russell Brand, once celebrated for his comedic genius and philosophical insights, now stands accused by multiple women, facing an unraveling of his platform and credibility. Antonio Brown, perhaps one of the most gifted wide receivers of his generation, repeatedly sabotaged his career through erratic behavior, legal issues, and unchecked ego. And then there's Carl Lentz, the once famous pastor at Hillsong NYC, who fell from grace after an affair was exposed, bringing deep scrutiny to the very institution he once represented. The industry's changed, but the pattern stays the same. Greatness without grounding leads to collapse. Proverbs 25 verse 28 puts it plainly: like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Without internal strength, even the strongest empires can fall. There's a deeper spiritual reality here, too, one many people overlook. Many of these downfalls aren't just about bad decisions. They're about spiritual warfare. The Bible speaks about the Jezebel spirit, an ancient spirit of seduction, manipulation, control, and destruction. In 1 Kings, Jezebel didn't just attack with weapons. She attacked character, influence, and legacy. She positioned herself close to power and used manipulation to undermine the destiny of kings. Today, that same spirit operates through culture, often targeting leaders, especially men in positions of authority, wealth, and influence, tempting them to compromise in private so they can be disqualified in public. What took years to build can be destroyed in a single moment of compromise, and the enemy knows it. The Jezebel spirit doesn't just seduce individuals. It seeks to dismantle entire systems by taking down key people at the top. It's subtle, it's strategic, and if you're not spiritually guarded, it's devastating. That's why we're seeing an acceleration of these falls. It's not random, it's targeted. Men are being lured into situations where their weaknesses are weaponized against them. And culture, unknowingly or not, celebrates the fall rather than mourning the loss of what could have been. When you zoom out, ESPN's move makes even more sense. They weren't making a moral judgment. They were making a business decision. It's called reputational risk management. Executives are trained to ask one thing: is this person a liability to our future value? If the answer is yes, the exit door is never far away. Billion-dollar brands protect their image, even if it means losing a superstar. From Sharpe's side, the attempt to settle shows something few understand. It's about shielding not just assets, but legacy. When the stakes are this high, you don't fight every battle publicly. You buy your way out to protect what's left. There's a deeper current running beneath all of this, one that transcends sports and business. 1 John 2 verse 16 warns us about the traps of the world, the desires of the flesh, the desires of the eyes, and the pride of life. These aren't random failings. They're ancient pitfalls that have taken down kings, leaders, and celebrities alike. What we're seeing with Shannon Sharpe isn't just a legal situation. It's part of a broader cultural pattern where power without purity leads to downfall. This isn't about pointing fingers at Sharpe or any of the others. It's about recognizing the world we're living in, a world that teaches men to chase influence but ignore integrity, a world that glorifies the spotlight but forgets to talk about the shadows. And the hard truth is this: God doesn't elevate who you pretend to be. He elevates who you are when no one's watching. Every platform you build, every opportunity you chase, will ultimately rest on the foundation of your private life. The applause of the crowd can't hold up a cracked foundation forever. Eventually, the pressure will find a weakness. Take a lesson from the old stories that still hold wisdom today. Joseph in Genesis 39 had every opportunity to choose pleasure over purpose. No one would have known, but he wasn't building for the moment. He was building for destiny. That kind of discipline, the kind that honors God in private, is what sustains real success. For any man stepping into influence today, the warning is clear. Don't just chase growth, chase grounding. Protect your heart. Build real accountability. Don't wait until you're trending for the wrong reason. Start protecting your integrity while no one's looking. Because here's the reality: a moment of compromise can cost you a lifetime of credibility. Your calling is too important to gamble with convenience. Your future is too valuable to sacrifice for a fleeting moment of indulgence. If Shannon Sharpe really is being shaken down, then his alleged move to settle shows he understood something many don't. The price of peace is often paid long before the public ever sees a fight. But beyond this situation, the pattern is the real warning. History is littered with men who could have finished strong, but didn't. That doesn't have to be your story. The reward for living anchored isn't just external success, it's internal peace. It's a life you don't have to fear will fall apart when the storms come. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says it best: above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your brand, your business, your influence, they're all downstream from the condition of your heart. So as you build your life, your wealth, your legacy, build with wisdom, build with boundaries, build with the end in mind. Because when the pressure hits, and it will, it's your foundation, not your followers, that will determine whether you stand or fall. Before you head out, take a second and ask yourself, what's one boundary I put in place to protect my calling? Drop it in the comments below. And if this video helped you think deeper, send to another brother who needs a reminder. In the meantime, subscribe to join the accountability conversations to stay rooted in how to live out God's word. And until then, stay sharp, stay rooted. And remember, in a world that rewards shortcuts, God still honors those who build slow, steady, and strong. See you in the next video.